I was a fisherman, tumbling on the seas, far away from dry land and its bitter memories, casting out my sweet life with abandonment and love. Now ceiling bearing down on me, save the starry sky above with light in my head. You
Well, I just want to say that I am more than proud to be here and represent the commercial fishing industry in North Carolina. But I want to tell you something. There's so many people here that we work with. I spend a lot of time up here in Washington, spend a lot of time in Raleigh, in my home state. But there's so many people here today that we have been at cross purposes for so many years. Today, stepping forward to push this flexibility bill forward, we have joined arms, we've locked together, we're working together, and every single person up on this stage is united today to say that we need the flexibility in this bill so that we can continue to fish. And I just want to say, because you've been listening to a lot of people, that I am really proud to be part of this effort. And I want to thank you all, most especially my friends, my family from North Carolina, for being here. So God bless you, and let's win this. We're going to prevail.
A formidable foe. You face the National Marine Fisheries Service and the forces of the government that don't want to work for you. Until you come together, and then you have the ability to retake your government and to make it work for you. And that's what we must do today. There are few in the fishing industry and few in government who understand the workings of the fishing industry better than Ann Margaret Ferrante, the representative from the state of Massachusetts for Gloucester and the surrounding communities. A descendant of fishermen, a hard-working fishing advocate, formerly my law clerk, who I thought I'd teach something, and now she teaches me even more every day. Ann
was a fisherman. Both of my grandfathers were fishermen. My uncles fished. And to me, this is much more than a political issue. This is about my family, this is about my heritage, and this is about an upbringing. And to those young boys that were down here that said, why can't I be a fisherman? By God, if you want to be like my daddy, then you should have every right to be like him.
Yeah!
You know, we all share, Bruce said that this is hallowed ground because it represents our country. Well, it's hallowed ground because our family's here today. I might be from Gloucester, but my daddy fished out in Alaska, he fished out in California, he fished out in New Jersey, and that represents the brotherhood and the sisterhood that's represented here today.
Yes.
Senator Tarr talked about hallowed. Let's talk about something else that's hallowed. It's the sacrifice that each and every one of you make when you leave our port. And why do you make that sacrifice? You make it to feed your family. And above and beyond that, and I hope the Capitol can hear me from here, yeah, you do it because you want to feed this nation.
Yeah. Scream it loud, girl. Scream it loud.
And to the environmentalists that have some sort of issue with feeding this nation, they need to hear that message. They need to understand the sacrifice, because I bet there's not one of them that leaves their house, that kisses their wife, their husband, or their child goodbye, and goes on to take on a noble effort of feeding this nation, not knowing whether or not they're going to return. And it's about time that that sacrifice gets respected.
Yeah!
Now, if we've watched the news, we've seen all the debating going on out there about who's going to create the next job. Is it going to be the Republicans? Is it going to be the Democrats? Is it going to be the federal government, the state? Who's it going to be? You know what? You all have jobs. So here's a message that we have to send over to that building. You have a job, you do it well, it's an important job, and they need to help you keep your job.
Yes. Woo!
And they need to understand one thing more, and that's if these jobs go away, they're not coming back. And if they want to go to their restaurants, and they want to have striped bass, and they want to have a codfish or a haddock or a lobster, then guess what? They need to give this industry the respect and the dignity that it deserves.
Flexibility! Yeah!
And I voted against the renewal of the Magnuson Act precisely because of this rigidity. And I understand people saying we don't want any timelines, but we got to be realistic. That's not something we can accomplish. But we can say, let's be realistic, and let's first of all throw out the assumption that regulators have to tell fishermen how important it is to have fish 10 years from now. The fishermen have more of an interest and more of an understanding in keeping the fish around than the people who are regulating them. It's absolutely backwards.
Yes! They don't care what we say!
Secondly, let's point out that the people who've been administering this law have been breaking it, not simply in the way in which enforcement has gone forward, but that law does say that the economic impact on fishing communities has been taken into account. And they are in violation of that law. They don't pay any attention to it. We've had many examples in the fishery that I'm representing. One of my colleagues, John Cheney, is here. The Scallop fishery of New Bedford, Fairhaven, and Gloucester, where the fishermen were right and the regulators were wrong. Now we have, and John Cheney took the lead in this with some others, in exposing the abusive enforcement. I have to say this. I wish, because I'm on the Financial Services Committee, I wish the federal government had treated some of the people in the financial industry as harshly as the NIMS has treated the fishermen.
Yeah!
They have it absolutely backwards.
Yes!
And I'm glad that this is a truly bipartisan coalition, and it goes up and down the coast, and it isn't just our...
Not only is Seabass rebuilt, but it's been rebuilt for the last 10 years. Yeah. Exactly what fishermen were saying. Once again, fishermen were right. National Marine Fisheries Service was wrong.
But all
We've had
fish!
a situation here where, and the list goes on. You want to talk about scup? You got a lot of commercial fishermen here, a lot of recreation fishermen, telling them for years. Guess what? Not rebuilt, not double rebuilt. 208% of the rebuilt level. Yeah, we've got a quota for scup that is less than a third of what the best available science says it should be. Isn't that convenient that they can use the science when it suits their purpose? They'll shut you down tomorrow, but they'll never open you back up again. So that's why we're here. We're here to support Congressman Pallone, Senator Schumer, and all the sponsors of 1584 and 1255. That's not the end-all be-all. That's not the cure-all to our problems, but it's step one. Step one of a whole lot of steps that are going to come, and here it is. It's one big step. And we've got a whole bunch of us here. There's a whole lot more to go. So I want to thank everybody for coming.
And like somebody else did up here, I'm not afraid to mention names. When you see organizations like the Environmental Defense Fund, the people that I truly do hate, they're spending $30 million of their own money. When I say their own money, this is foundation money that does belong to them. They're people, Dave Festa makes $400,000 a year to try to push catch shares on the industry and the fishermen in the country that we live in. That's wrong. All of y'all are up here spending your last dime to do what you can do to survive, and if you're a recreational fisherman and you want to continue to fish, you don't want any part of a catch share. That's as much as I can say and as short as I can say it. Catch shares are bad. Thank you very much.
In my wildest dreams, this day would ever happen. I congratulate and I salute each and every one of you for making this trip to Washington and being a part of the first of what I hope are going to be many, many rallies. We're going to keep doing this as long as we got to, till Magnuson is changed.
Yeah. I wish I was a fisherman.